Welcome to Creativ's presentation. I'm Ron Baker, Senior Director of Business Development. Creative is seeking Series A funding for $15 to $20 million to commercialize our revolutionary LifeTrack DX liquid biopsy for cancer testing. We have collaborations with many major cancer centers, such as MD Anderson, Mayo Clinic, and Memorial Sloan Kettering, as well as major universities including Washington University in St. Louis, Duke University, Johns Hopkins University, and the University of Maryland. 40% of Americans will develop cancer in their lifetime. Cancer is the second leading cause of death in the United States, and lung cancer causes 25% of all cancer deaths. Currently, there are a limited number of safe, non-invasive techniques available to accurately detect cancer recurrence early, detect cancer in its earliest stages, and to assist in the diagnosis and treatment decisions of the patient. We have identified a unique biomarker in the blood of cancer patients that can profile the tumor, provide prognosis, and predict the patient's response to therapy. We have identified a unique class of biomarkers in the blood of cancer patients, macrophages that originated from the tumor site and entered the bloodstream after engulfing tumor cells and tumor debris. We call them cancer-associated macrophage-like cells, or CAMLs for short. CAMLs have many unique characteristics. They are very large, ranging in size from 25 to 300 microns. They can be round, oval, or rod-shaped, and they can grow one or two tails of varying length. CAMLs are also polynucleated and contain a great deal of nuclear material. Since CAMLs contain tumor proteins, they can be used to develop companion diagnostics from a blood test. A tissue biopsy is not required. It's important to note that the DNA in CAMLs provide higher quality DNA than cell-free DNA for sequencing. What makes the CAML biomarker even more remarkable as a liquid biopsy is that they're found in all types of solid tumors and in all stages of disease, including 80% in stage 1. It's also important to note that CAMLs are not found in healthy individuals. We have performed a broad spectrum of clinical validations. This is a list of the 20 different solid tumors in which we have found CAMLs in the blood. We have processed more than 5,000 patient samples. We have participated in over 20 clinical trials with pharma, biotechs, and academic institutions. And we're funded by 3 research grants for cancer screening: breast, lung, and prostate. We are also funded for clinical research on immunotherapy treatment for lung cancer. And we have 18 peer-reviewed publications, and our CAML utility has been independently validated by 5 other groups, most recently by the University of Missouri. LifeTrack DX's liquid biopsy capabilities are very broad. CAMLs have been found in all solid tumor types analyzed. They're present in all stages of cancer, and they've provided useful information for all different types of therapies that we've studied. Because CAMLs can be detected in high percentages in stage 1, the assay can be used for cancer screening, that is, for a single cancer or for many cancers, detection of residual disease at the end of therapy, and for early detection of cancer recurrence. And the same assay can also provide many diagnostic applications, including companion diagnostics to determine whether a drug will benefit the patient, prediction of the aggressiveness of the cancer, monitoring therapy and prediction of treatment response after 2 to 3 treatment cycles, and the CAMLs can also deliver unfragmented tumor DNA for sequencing for mutations, deletions, and translocations. These assays are also very useful for drug development and also to help select and stratify patients in oncology clinical trials. Our first product will provide cancer recurrence monitoring. When cancer is in remission, there should be no camels. We will implement LifeTrack DX to detect cancer recurrence in patient samples in our CLIA laboratory. If camels are present, the size of the camel can also provide information about the aggressiveness of the tumor. Serial monitoring of the patients over the course of their lifetime will not result in unnecessary exposure to imaging radiation. The market size for cancer recurrence alone is very large. Currently, there are over 10 million cancer patients in remission. These patients typically undergo X-ray imaging 2 to 3 times per year. Achieving 1% market penetration alone will be over $160 million, which we expect to exceed by year 4. For our second product, we will apply for FDA approval for companion diagnostics for immunotherapy for non-small cell lung cancer. Currently, all the FDA-approved companion diagnostics for PD-L1 require tissue. Tissue biopsy for lung cancer is difficult, expensive, and risky, resulting in adverse events about 30% of the time. In fact, our CEO's brother-in-law died during a lung tissue biopsy procedure at Massachusetts General Hospital, one of the best hospitals in the world. LifeTrack DX liquid biopsy eliminates the need for tissue. For the same FDA clinical trial, we will also seek approval to predict treatment response. Imaging is used to determine disease progression. Immunotherapy, however, often presents pseudoprogression, where the tumor grows bigger when the patient is actually responding due to CD8 and T cells entering the stroma. LifeTrack DX can identify non-responders in 2 to 3 treatment cycles. The reason for applying for FDA approval related to treatment is for the LifeTrack DX to be included in the National Comprehensive Cancer Network's guidelines for standard of care. Physicians follow NCCN guidelines. We project that LifeTrack DX will be adopted in greater than 10% of non-small cell lung cancer therapies within 2 years after FDA approval. The revenue for this segment is estimated to be over $200 million. As shown here, the revenue projection is in hundreds of millions of dollars per year. We expect to break even in year 3 and continue to grow rapidly as we develop other products. We believe that we'll become a multi-billion-dollar company. Creativ's goal is to raise $15 to $20 million in our Series A round to achieve the following milestones. $6 million will go towards seeking reimbursement approval and also to support marketing and sales. To reduce labor and to perform and increase profit of the LifeTrack DX test, we're seeking $3 million to automate our blood sample processing portion and $2 million to automate the slide imaging by artificial intelligence. We estimate that pivotal FDA clinical trial to predict immunotherapy treatment response for lung cancer will cost $9 million. Following our Series A round, Creative will focus on our robust pipeline of future products with huge revenue potential. Cancer screening is a tens of billions of dollars market. Currently, after mammography for breast cancer and low-dose CT for lung, biopsies are performed to determine if the nodules are cancer. LifeTrack DX can replace the biopsy with a simple blood test. LifeTrack DX can also be used to detect pan-cancer, for example, detecting cancer from a variety of organs from a single blood test. And LifeTrack DX can determine if there is residual disease at the end of therapy. LifeTrack DX provides a large spectrum of diagnostic applications as well. Companion diagnostics can be developed for any cancer drug. We have already developed companion diagnostic for more than 10 markers. We can predict the aggressiveness of the cancer at the time of screening, during therapy, or at recurrence. LifeTrack DX can monitor therapies such as successive surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation therapies immediately or over the long term. LifeTrack DX can also predict treatment response after 2 to 3 treatment cycles, independent of the type of therapy. And finally, the camels can also deliver unfragmented tumor DNA for sequencing. This slide shows LifeTrack DX's superiority to other liquid biopsies. Previously, we explained the wide spectrum of applications of LifeTrack DX on an earlier slide. Because camels are found in all solid tumors and in high percentages in all stages, camels can provide valuable clinical information about the tumor, and camels can also provide information on the effectiveness of treatment response. CTCs are found mainly in late stages of breast, prostate, and colorectal cancers, but not in earlier stages. CTCs are not usually found in the blood of other solid tumors. Therefore, CTCs cannot provide useful clinical information. ctDNA liquid biopsies have been studied extensively. One well-known company in this field is Grail, which was recently acquired by Illumina for $8 billion. However, like CTCs, ctDNA liquid biopsies have several limitations. For example, ctDNA is not applicable for companion diagnostics based on tumor surface markers, such as immunotherapy. ctDNA cannot provide prognosis and predict treatment response for most therapies, and ctDNA can detect breast, prostate, and lung cancers in stage 1 only about 10% of the time, versus 80% of the time by camels. We will now provide some corporate information. Creatv has filed many patents, and 9 are international PCTs. Creatv was founded by Dr. Xiaomei Tang and incorporated in Delaware in 2000. Creatv has many expertise. They are microfabrication, biodetection, and cancer diagnostics. We have received $9.6 million in non-dilutive research grants and have raised $9 million in seed stage funding to date. The Creatv team consists of Xiaomei Tang, who's the president and CEO, Pete Amstutz, our chief financial officer, myself as the senior director of business development, and Dan Adams, director of our clinical research and development program. In fact, camels were identified and systematically analyzed and for their clinical application by Dan Adams and his team. So in summary, the LifeTrack DX liquid biopsy represents a revolutionary change in cancer patient management with big potential to improve and save lives. We look forward to presenting to you our exciting clinical data in detail. Our contact information is shown here, and please come visit us on our website at creativebio.com. Thank you very much.